Okay, good. Thank you for Shimon for organizing everything. Like always. So I'm not going to say I believe things that you don't know. It's important before every holiday to remember the halachot, the laws of the holiday. And in Purim, we also have several halachot that it's good to remind ourselves how to do the things correctly. So in Purim, we have 4 mitzvot that we call them the 4 mem, because all of them start with the letter mem. So we have Mikra Megillah, reading the Megillah, Mishloach Manot, sending food to each other, Matanot Le'avyonim, charity, giving money for the poor, and Mishteh. Mishteh is the feast, the meal, drinking. We will arrive to that point. We will arrive to that. Okay, so these are the 4 mitzvot that everyone must complete, and it's important to know that usually we say that women are not obligated to make the mitzvot that that come from time to time, right? For example, sukkah or shofar or something like that. The women are not obligated to do, but in Purim they are obligated to do all the mitzvot the same or almost the same as the men. There's maybe small differences, but generally speaking, all the mitzvot that we have to do in Purim, we have also the women must do, including mishloach manot and matanot le'avyonim. So usually what we say, we write to that, but if I give matanot le'avyonim, I should calculate also for my wife. So if one of the family gives, he should give for both, right? To calculate for both, and to think about both. Also, mishloach manot, we should think that there is enough mishloach manot for all the members of the family who are above bar or bat mitzvah, right? So not only one, you have to think about who's giving, right? And so no, you should give to other people, but the wife should give one and the husband should give one, right? At least. And so you can do that together. You don't have to say this is from the husband, this is from the wife, but the number of mishlochei manot should be okay. Anyway, starting again, all the 4 mitzvot are the obligation of men to women, and why women are obligated is that it's on time, because it says Garhen hayu beoto hanes. They also were saved in the miracle of Purim, right? Similar to what we say in Pesach. Pesach also it's on time, specific time, and women are obligated to eat matzah and everything. Why? Because they also were in the miracle of Pesach.
Who's they?
They, the women, we say. The women are obligated to make mitzvah, because usually mitzvah that comes from time to time, they are not obligated to do. מה נשמע? מזמן לא ראינו אותך.
איפה היית, תגיד?
ב9 חודשים בבית חולים כמעט.
היית בתעסוקה מבצעית באיראן? איפה היית? למה?
טוב. בסדר.
למה?
Okay, so okay. We'll continue now. So the mitzvah lekatchila, I mean in the best way, is to do Kriyat Megillah in public, in congregation, not in no individual. If there's no other option, then you can do that in individually. But generally the mitzvah is to do that in public, in the congregation, with minyan and with bracha. The time that we have to read the Megillah is actually 2 times. There is an obligation to do twice Kriyat Megillah, in the evening and in the day. The main one is in the day, but also the evening is obligation. So everybody must hear both. Why? The Gemara says because they prayed for God in the 3 days that Esther did a fast. They pray to God in the day and in the night. So we also read the Megillah in the day and in the night. So when is the night the time? What's the time in the night? from Tzet HaKochavim, meaning from when night really starts, not when the sunset. The sunset is earlier than Tzet HaKochavim, it's a little bit later. From Tzet HaKochavim, when the stars start to be in the sky, and until the dawn, Alot HaShachar. This is the time of Kriyat Megillah of the evening. The time of Kriyat Megillah of the day is from Anetzach Hama, which is when the sun comes out. B'diavad, meaning if someone must go and doesn't have time, if he can do that from the dawn, which is a little bit earlier. But it's better to do that after Anetzach Hama and until the sunset. One halacha which is a little bit hard, problematic, you are not allowed to eat before hearing the Megillah. Why it's problematic? Because we are after fast. We are fasting the day before Purim.
Oh, in the night.
And yeah, in the night, and then you're not allowed to eat or drink until you're doing the Megillah. Because when you have a specific time to do a mitzvah, you are not allowed to do anything else until you are doing the mitzvah. So this is also the case in Kriyat Megillah. Even though Chachamim say that if someone really going to be hard to him to wait until the end of Kriyat Megillah, he can test something a little bit, drink a little bit.
Let's talk
Only-
about the exceptions.
Yeah, that is the exception. I think it's even harder many times in the day, because the same law applies in the day. You are not allowed to eat before hearing the Megillah. So usually if you're going to the shul in the morning, shacharit, and pray, it's not a problem. But what's many times women do not come in the morning, so, and sometimes we have in Kriyat Megillah in the afternoon in the shul, so you're not allowed to eat until then. What are you doing? So again, the halacha says that what is called achilat arai is allowed. What is achilat arai? If you are eating without netilat yadayim and eating some fruits, or if you are eating mezonot, cake, a little bit, so it's allowed. So you can eat everything else that's not required netilat yadayim, and then it's okay. But generally, we should try to do the Megillah as soon as possible without eating or doing anything else before. There is another solution for people that couldn't hear in the morning, they want to hear afternoon, if they name someone to remind them. So then you should remind me to read the Megillah on time so he can eat, because there is like a guard, someone that will remind him to eat, to read Megillah, so it's allowed to do that before. Like I said before, women are obligated to do the mitzvah of Kriyat Megillah the same as men. There is a machloket if she can read for men. There is a disagreement about that. Some say that she can even read for men. It's very common in cases when someone is very old in the house and he also only have his wife or his daughter, and nobody else is there to read for him. So in that case, we should rely on the opinion that women also can read for men. Another halacha that is important is that the Megillah should be read from a kosher book, scroll, right? So if you're just reading from the Chumash or from a Bible or something like that, it's not, you didn't complete the mitzvah, you didn't fulfill the mitzvah. So it's obligation to read from a scroll, a kosher scroll, and to read all of it from that. Now, the halakha say that one must read or hear every word of the Megillah. Now, many times when there is noise or something like that, you are missing a word or two. Or what's happened if someone arriving late to Kriyat Megillah? So we said he cannot just read from the book, because we said we must read from the scroll. But the Chazan is already ahead the progress, he already advanced. So what he can do? So the halakha says that you must read most of the Megillah from a kosher scroll, but not all of the Megillah. So in that case, if you hear everything and then you miss the word or two,
Why
you
is
can.
so important the words?
The mitzvah, that is the way the Chachamim did the mitzvah, that we must.
Why is so important?
Yeah, so the story of Megillat Esther is very important. So we didn't speak about, now we are not talking about the
No, I'm not
concept, the
asking
idea.
about Megillat Esther. I'm talking about you said that it's very important, and I know that every word.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
It's
Because the mitzvah, the meaning of the Megillah is so important, so when you say the mitzvah is to hear every word of it.
What is the reason though?
Because
it's
יש את
important.
מתן תורה, מגילה קימו וקיבלו עליהם, על כן היהודים הפרזים הגרים בערי הפרזות קימו וקיבלו עליהם. מה הגמרא אומרת? מה קימו וקיבלו עליהם? כי במתן תורה השם כפר כגיגית עליהם. במתן תורה הם קיבלו את זה בפורים, הם קיבלו את זה באהבה. זה למה פורים פורים וכיפור, כל החגים התבטלו חוץ מפורים וכיפורים.
Okay, so again, I want to explain what would be the solution. So if you missed a word or two, you should read it again from the book, and then if the Chazan in the meantime made a progress, he read already, so you have to read fast to arrive to the same word. So all of that you read until you arrive the same word. Also, the same happened if you arrived late and you already read one chapter. So we said, as long as it's the majority you heard from the Chazan, you can read from a regular book. So what you have to do, if someone arrived late to Kriyat Megillah, he should start reading fast from a Siddur until the place where the Chazan is. And if it's before the half, so you are okay, because the majority you heard from a kosher scroll. Okay, so this is a solution.
Does it have to be a scroll?
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. You have to hear the majority from a scroll.
Like, can it be a book that is kosher,
No,
or only a scroll can be
only
kosher?
scroll. Only scroll is kosher.
Now, how do we count the majority of them? By words or by chapter?
I think by words. I'm not sure, but I think that by words.
I can-
Anyway, you don't want to be too close. You want to chapter, 2 chapters, okay. But if it's become 3 chapters, also okay. But more than that, it's complicated.
So I share by said Ne'aman, that's it, it's too late.
The amount is for sure too late. There are 3 brachot before Kriyat Megillah.
שעשה ניסים?
First of all, Al Mikra Megillah. Second, no, Al Rebbeinu is after. Second, שעשה ניסים, and third, שהחיינו. This is in the night. In the day, Sfaradim only say 2 brachot. Ashkenazim say also in the day, they also in 3 brachot. Why? Sfaradim say already you did the mitzvah, you don't have to say that again. Ashkenazim say no, but we say that the main kriya, the main reading of the Megillah is in the day, so you cannot say, in each mitzvah it's separately, it's different aspects, so you must say again
Always complicated.
in the day. Now it is also important because all the rest of the mitzvot of Purim are only on the day. All the rest of the mitzvot,
מקרא מגילה, סעודה,
Matanot לאביונים, Mishloach Manot, and Seudah, all of them must be in the day. So when we are saying שהחיינו on Kriyat Megillah, we should also have in mind that it's for the other mitzvot of Purim. Okay, because we are not saying for them שהחיינו separately, so it should be included into that. Okay, so after Kriyat Megillah, there is another bracha which wasn't obligation. It's the Gemara say places when you say that it's okay. If you don't say that, it's also not okay. It's also okay, but the custom today that everybody is saying that it's Aravet Riven. Now I said that last year. I will repeat it again. There is a problematic moment. How do we read the Megillah? We open all the Megillah and spread it in front of us, and we read from the Megillah from the beginning to the end. After that, before saying the last bracha, we must scroll the Megillah.
Again.
Because it's not respectful to leave it like that open when you're not reading it. Okay? So, finishing the Megillah, before saying the last bracha, we are scrolling it. In this moment, nobody should speak. Everybody should be quiet. We are scrolling the Megillah. And only after finish that, it's taking like 1 minute, 40 seconds. And it's like a moment that everybody starts speaking and no. And so, and we are scrolling everything. And then we can say the last bracha of Aravet Riven. Okay, so this is about the first mitzvah, the first mem, Mikra Megillah. The second and the third mem are both related to all the idea of Purim, of union of Am Yisrael. Aman HaRasha say to Achashverosh, ישנו עם אחד, מפוזר ומפורד. They are spread, literally means they're living in different places. But symbolically means they are separated, they hate each other, they are, everybody, there are discussions and disagreements and there's so many movements inside Judaism, they are separated, מפוזר ומפורד. What was the solution of Esther? She told Mordechai היהודי, לך כנוס את כל היהודים, bring together all the Jews. So again, the spread of Haman, we have the bring together. So part of the idea of Purim, or one important message or lesson of Purim is that we must unite. And union can be sound like something big, right? The Haredim and the not Haredim, the Ashkenazim and Sfaradim. No, it's between you and your neighbor. Between someone that you go to shul and you are maybe has some
between you and
tension between them or something happened in the past, etc. So this is the most important, where the union is necessary. And also we must open our eyes around us and see those who cannot afford, those who is hard to them to survive, to live. And that's the reason that the two mitzvot are related, first of all, to strengthen the connection between people. How do we connect how we strengthen the connection between people? The best way go through the stomach, right? Through eating. So when you are sending food, and specifically food, if you are going to send him, I don't know, a Porsche, he's not going to be so happy.
no.
Oh yes.
Only put you fuel.
You know, so what I mean, that food is something that the pleasure is close. You don't have to bother. If you send him money, what is going to do with that, right? So so you must send him food, and also food usually is involved in personal preparation. I prepare that. So today we buy usually, but when I prepare that, it's so that I care, it's so that I give attention to that. It's personal, right? So Chachamim said, this is a takana, even though in the details maybe we will do it differently. Chachamim said, everybody must send something to other person. This is משלוח מנות.
Also לתקן את הסעודה של אחשוורוש, שיהודים ישתתפו בה.
Maybe also that, but the main reason is the union to strengthen what?
No, but why is it giving it to people who aren't poor? I thought it's supposed to be.
No, poor it's not for, no, משלוח מנות it's not for poor. משלוח מנות is to everybody.
Oh.
Again, I say that משלוח מנות is to strengthen the love between each other, right? They are close to each other. Yeah. And then also we should take care of those who cannot afford. And that's the reason we should also want them to be happy with us. And that's the reason we should send them מתנות לאביונים. So what other is for poor, משלוח מנות is to other people. How do I do משלוח מנות? Like I said before, each member of the family that is above 13 or 12 for women must do משלוח מנות. Children less than that, it's also for din chinuch. We want to educate them, but it's not like an obligation. Now, it's easy to remember how much, according to the words in Hebrew. Mishloach is singular, manot is plural. So I must send 2 things for 1 person. Okay, this is a minimum. You can send more, but the minimum is 2 things for 1 person. 2 different
Why
things.
מזונות, let's say?
Yeah, it's not necessarily must be different brachot. It can be 2 kinds of cake, 2 kinds of meat and cake, 2 kinds of candies, as long as it's 2 kinds. Okay, why 2 kinds? Why 2 things, 2 different things? You usually think, no, yeah, because it says matanot, but mishloach, manot. Yeah, but I mean, what is the idea behind that? The first food is because you have to eat. The second is extra. With the extra, you show your love. You don't only give him what he needs. You give him more than what he needs. So this is like showing the love and strengthening the love between people. It's a good thing. Not always we are doing that. It's a good thing to send it to people that you have problem with them. It's a moment, the opportunity to strengthen the connections and to resolve problems, old wounds. Right, it's opportunity that the Torah gives us to do that. So this is about mishloach manot. Again, any 2 kinds of food, it's good. There are a discussion about beverage, but halacha lema'aseh, we can also do 1 of them or 2 of them can be some kind of drink, and as long as not water, don't send glass of water, right? It can be juice, wine, beer, things like that. It's okay. What?
Flavor water?
Yeah, that's juice. Yeah, soft drink. Yeah. So this is about משלוח מנות. The next mitzvah, מתנות לאביונים. So here also, if you see the Hebrew, it says מתנות in plural, לאביונים, to the poor, also in plural. מתנות לאביונים. So here we must send to 2 different people. 2 different people, not only 1. I just want to say in parentheses that here we have, it's very hard to find poor people. They're not walking in they're walking in the street, but you don't know if they're Jews or not. You must give,
Most likely not.
yeah, you must give people who are Jews. You can help other people also. It's also mitzvah, but in Purim specifically, we want them to celebrate Purim with us. And that's the reason you must give for a pur. So we have an agreement with the Jewish Family Services. So you can do the mitzvah lemehadrin. I checked with them. Actually, I'm going to bring the money personally to the people that need. So the best thing to do that is to donate to that. You can do that through the shul. Give the money to the shul. And then, according to the amount of money that we get, we know how many people we can help, and it will be in the same day. So again, it's in Purim. It's hard to go away and look for purs in the streets, right? It's not something that you can do in Purim. You can do that before Purim. But the money must be given in Purim itself. All the idea is that they can be able to celebrate Purim. So you must give them the money in Purim itself. Okay?
What's the minimum?
Okay, I'm going to speak about it now. Okay, but first of all, that's important to know. If I give it before Purim to some organization of poor people, it's not good. Now, I asked a rabbi, I'm not sure about that. What's happened if you are giving in Israel? So I can give it in credit card and they will give it in Israel in the day. But the problem is that in the day there, it's still night here. I thought it's okay because they're getting in their day. The idea is that they will celebrate in their day, right? I'm not sure 100%.
Robert, can we give you money before Purim?
Yeah.
Knowing that you'll distribute it on.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. You can give, not me, to Sylvia, to the office, before Purim, and then we are responsible to give it in Purim to two Purim. Right, so this is about that. So again, in Israel, if they are given in their day and here it's still night, I'm not sure it's okay because we say that we must make the mitzvot in the day itself. On the other side, for them, it's a day in Purim. So again, I'm not sure. I sent to ask a rabbi. He didn't answer me yet. He didn't answer me yet, so I'm not sure about that. So I say the best thing to do, the safe side, is to give to the Jewish Family Services, and Bezrat Hashem, we will distribute it. We will distribute it on Purim, Bezrat Hashem.
לא, אבל מתי פורים?
בירושלים, זה נקרא פורים משולש.
שבת.
פה.
Okay, we not talk about Jerusalem, it's complicated, not for you. Now, about what is...
In Iran, there is one community.
גרי, יום שישי הבא?
They also celebrate.
What is the minimum amount of money that you have to send? $1,000 for... No. We said that the purpose is that they will celebrate Purim, meaning that they will have to eat. So the minimum amount should be a minimum meal, right? Something that he can eat and have a meal. How much a minimum meal cost?
Shawarma was $20.
So shawarma $20. If you're going to a restaurant of 3 stars Michelin,
No.
it's going to be a bit more. If you are giving him a bowl with rice, it can be, I don't know, $2, right? So
Average $10, $15.
yeah, so there's no, if you're going to the minimum, if you really want to do the minimum, so you can buy, I believe, 3 slices of bread in, I don't know, $1, right? If you can buy the bread, 3 slices of bread, it's $1. This is it's really hard to someone. So this is the minimum. So you have to do $2 or $3, right? To 2 purs. But I would say that if you are not so poor yourself, so also poor must give. So if you are poor, you give that. If you are not poor, try to give something that would be like a normal meal. I don't know. I don't want to say fancy if me like going to Eddie here. It's going to cost you. But I would say that normal meal, if you are making, I don't know, a little bit of rice with 1 piece of schnitzel or something like that, it's around $15. So I would say this is a normal amount. I would, so again, 2 like that, 2 meals. And I would say also, Chachamim say that it's better to give more tzedakah than more mishloach manot. Many times we prepare tons of mishloach manot, which is, first of all, it's annoying, it's stressing, and people say, he give me, I must give him back. It's not a good thing. No, you don't have to give back. You don't have to give back. It's not an obligation. It's also to show the connection. And yeah, thank you very much. And that's good. So, well, but still, you give mishloach manot because it's a nice thing, and you do that as much as you can. But it's more important to give tzedakah than to give mishloach manot. So if you can give more tzedakah, it's a better thing, right? This is a bigger mitzvah in this context. I forgot to mention before in the mishloach manot, you should bring something that you can eat, that is ready to eat. So you cannot send raw chicken, for example, right? Or something that is not ready to eat. But for example, orange, even though it as you have to pick it, it's considered as ready to eat. Or a can with tuna, for example, it's considered ready to eat, right? Because you have to open, but it's not so. But if it's not cooked and you cannot eat it like that, raw potatoes, no, don't send that. Prepare chips, okay, and then send it. Okay, so this is about that. משלוח מנות, מתנות להגיונים, we already say. And again, these two things you should calculate for the whole family. So if again, if we say that the minimum should be around $10 and you have a husband and wife and 2 children above 13, it should be $60. Wait, $10, yeah, 3 children, each one, it's 3 people, each one of them 20, so we have 60. Okay, this is more or less the minimum that is normal, that you are not poor. What?
What about for grown kids, like over the age of 18?
Above 18?
Yeah.
They should give, but you can help them. Right, so you can give for them. I used to give for my children many, many years. I don't know if they give, I'm just giving for them. I say if they give, okay. If not, it's mine. Anyway, but yeah, the obligation is on everyone, men and women. Okay, so this is
Next week you do here the Mikra Megillah or everybody do in the mall?
no here. We are I don't know what they are doing in the mall, but we have here also.
Okay.
I don't know if they have in
It's
the
gonna
mall.
be Thursday?
Thursday evening and
Thursday.
Friday morning.
Yeah,
Thursday evening and Monday morning and Friday morning. The
The
last mitzvah.
And יום רביעי זה תענית אסתר.
No, Thursday.
Thursday is the תענית אסתר?
Yes, Thursday is Thanit
Okay.
Esther. So the last mitzvah is mishte, like it said, yemei mishte v'simcha. And usually we say it's like every Yom Tov. Yom Tov, always we have to celebrate with simcha, and simcha ela bebasar v'yain, with meat and wine. So lekatchila, the seudah of Purim should be with meat, and we are saying meat, we are not talking about soya. We are talking about, and not even chicken, we're talking about cows or sheep, meaning animal. So this is the best way to do that. And wine. And also, to be considered as seudah, we should do that also with bread. Okay? So bread, wine, and meat, this is the best seudat Purim that it can be done. But if you cannot, or you don't like meat, or whatever, it's not obligation. But it's recommended to do the seudah with bread, meat, and wine if it's possible. I forgot to mention, like other mitzvot, the seudah is on the day. So there is a custom to do also something in the night, and many people do the celebration also in the night. But the main seudah and the important seudah is in the day, on the day of Purim, not in the night. And
all day.
it's all day. From the morning, you can do that until the evening. We'll talk about what we are going to do here today, this year. It is complicated. It's Friday, but this is the mitzvah. Now, I said that the mitzvah is all the holidays to do this, to do the bread, meat, and wine. But in Purim, there is a special emphasis on drinking, because it's a yemei mishteh v'simcha. The question, so for sure, what we know for sure that it's mitzvah, in Purim, especially mitzvah to drink wine more than other holidays. The question is how much? How much until you are happy? Yes, so there is a saying in the Talmud that say that you should be drunk, so drunk that you cannot say the difference between Arur Haman and Baruch Mordechai, meaning totally lost. How do you say? No, there is a word for that.
Muskul.
When you are totally drunk, busted, hammered. Yeah, that it looks like that. But about that, there are two opinions, two general attitudes. Some understand that literally. that you must drink until you don't know to say the difference between, meaning you already totally busted. But there are other opinions. Why? Because after the Gemara said that, ad de lo yada, there is a story about two rabbis that drank together, and one of them killed the other. And after, because so drunk, he killed the other, and then he brought it back to life. The next year, he told him, let's drink to that Purim, say, with you, it was enough. Not every year, there's going to be a miracle. So he didn't want. So some say that the story come to reject the former story. The famous halacha. So one say you should drink a lot, and then the story say, no, don't drink a lot because it can cause problems. So there are two opinions about that. I said, also for the first opinion that you must drink until you are really, really drunk, if it makes you do mistakes, don't do that. So don't drink. Or if it makes you feel really, really bad, or it causes you to cry, and to be certain people when they drink, they become sad. So it's not the idea. So don't, in this case, you don't have the obligations, or even for those. The other say that you don't have to drink so much. You have to drink until a level when you are you have to think for a second before you answer. And you're a little bit drunk, not drunk. And then if you're going to sleep from this wine, when you're sleeping, you cannot tell the difference because you're sleeping, right? So by that you're doing the mitzvah. Also, the women has mitzvah to drink wine, but it says for women not to get drunk because it's not respectful for them. It's not. Yeah. It's new. Yeah. So it's not an obligation for the. It's obligation to drink. It's not obligation to get drunk. Okay, so this is about that. So again, or yeah, drink a lot, or drink until you are a little bit high, and this is enough. Now, this year we have a serious problem. Why? Because it's Friday. What's the problem with that? The problem is that the halacha says that you shouldn't make a meal too late on Friday because we want you to eat on Shabbat with, how do you say, appetite, with, you really want, yes, so it's better to do the Suda in the morning. But many times it's too complicated to do it in the morning. People children go to school, people work sometimes, even though it's not clear that it's allowed to work on Purim, but there is school here, yeah, there is school here. And also you want to do the Mishloach Manot, you want to do the Matanot La'Evyonim, you have to do Mikra Megillah, there are many, many things, and many times we don't have enough time to do that in the morning. So, some permit to do the Suda also afternoon, even close to Shabbat. There is another solution. The Gemara speaks about other case, which is called Lefros Mapa or Lekadesh. What does it mean? That if you started the Suda before Shabbat and Shabbat enter, you can continue the Suda and make it also Sudat Shabbat. But you have to stop for a while, cover the bread on the meal, make a Kiddush. In the Kiddush, you don't say Borei Pri HaGefen because you already said Borei Pri HaGefen. Yeah, you are saying Kabbalah. Yeah, so, for example, now I'm going to say what we are planning to do here. We are coming to the Sudat Purim 5:15. It's better to come, we wrote 5:30. It's better to come 5:15 before Teisha Shot, 9 hours. And to make Netilat Yadayim, start the Suda 5:15, 5:20. And then when Plaga Mincha arrived, it is around 6 something, we asked the women to light the candles. They will light the candles here in the social hall. And we can sing Lecha Dodi together. We cover the bread that is on the tables. We are saying Kiddush. And we continue the Seudah. We eat in bread again without making Hamutzi. We eat in bread again. We finish in the Seudah. In Birkat Hamazon, we say both Retzeh and Al Hanisim. And then after that, we are doing the Tefillah. So this is a
Kabbalat Shabbat.
Okay.
Even Mincha,
Mincha we should say before. Maybe
So
we
we
didn't
eat
speak about that.
before Kabbalat Shabbat.
Yes.
So if I understand you correct, Purim, not Putin, Purim
Yeah.
gives us the obligation to get us into Shabbat.
It's not obligation. It's one of the solutions. You can do the Sudat Purim in the morning and you don't have a problem. If you are doing Sudat Purim in the morning, you don't have a problem. And then you're doing Shabbat as usual. What I'm saying is many times it's complicated to do Sudat Purim in the morning, and we don't want to underestimate the Sudat Shabbat. So when we connect that with Purim, it's become everything become Tzudat Mitzvah, and it's for both sides. Purim and Shabbat become.
יפה, אהבתי את ה...
So this is some
באמת אהבתי את ה...
recommendations that some say it's better not to do that, some say it's better to do that. We will do that here, Bezrat Hashem, this year.
Shabbat Seudah, yeah?
Yeah, next year, next week, Bezrat Hashem, we are doing the Sudat Purim, and we will continue. So if someone knows that he cannot stay or he wants to come in the car and return with the car, so don't do that. Just eat the Sudat Purim and go home. But if you know you can walk back home after Sudat Shabbat, and so it's better to do that in that way. We will do the Kiddush, the Lecha Dodi, Adlakat Nerot, and
So if I don't want to participate in Shabbat part, I just continue for a meal and then go to bed and Narvil.
yeah.
So the two options.
Do we need to register for the dinner?
Yeah, here for the dinner you have to register.
So we have Megillah at 4:30.
Yeah, immediately after Megillah we will do Mincha. We didn't write it there. Mincha, and then immediately come Netilat Yadayim and starting the Seudah, which is already prepared almost, and there is a lot of Oznei Aman, Hamshet, how do you say Hamenshet? Hamantash, a lot of Hamantash. So you must come because if not, we're going to have that until Pesach.
Like 2,500.
What was jam? Or chocolate?
Okay, so this is more or less. I will just add one more halacha that we should know. This Shabbat, we have Shabbat Zachor. Shabbat Zachor is one of the 4 parashot, but it has a special mitzvah because we have a special mitzvah to remember what Amalek did to us. How do we remember? Some say just remember, but most of the opinions are that you must remember by reading from a Sefer Torah. And this is a mitzvah from the Torah. So the only time we are making mitzvah here in Kriyat Torah, mitzvah deoraita, biblical mitzvah from the Torah, is when we are hearing Kriyat Zachor. Okay, so rest of the times that we are reading Kriyat Torah, it's a custom. It's from Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe Rabbeinu said, read the Torah. But it's not mitzvah from the Torah. The only time in the years that we have in mitzvah from the Torah is when we read in Parashat Zachor. Now, it could have been each Shabbat of the year. But no, we are doing that before Purim, because Aman was from Amalek, and we want to remember. Yeah, but if someone actually didn't do the mitzvah on Purim, on Zachor, and Parashat Ki Tetzeh, he can do the mitzvah also, because we are reading that. Now, in this case, there isn't an obligation for the women. According to most of the opinion, it's not an obligation for the women. Why? Because it's the mitzvah is to go to a war against Amalek, and women do not go to a war.
Yeah, Moshe נלחם עם יהושע.
The normal
ויש
road.
כן.
Yeah, but so according to that, women are not obligated. Some say, yes, they're not going to the war, but they are helping. They are supporting forces. They are bringing food. They are helping. So they also they are participating in the mitzvah of eliminate Amalek. So they have to hear Kriyat Megillah. Anyways, the custom of many women is to come and hear Kriyat Zachor. And in the case that they couldn't come on time, we are also here. Bezrat Hashem is going to be demand after the tefillah. We are going to read again for women.
For Ashkenazim, we're reading the last pasuk twice.
No,
Because
no.
it's one word that there is machloket.
Any question? And remember, the most important mitzvah of Purim is to be happy. You
Yeah.
can extend this mitzvah to the whole year, but at least in Purim, you should be happy.
That was.
Okay. Koyach.